vape, just hitting this vape, just smoking the vape, blowing the vape or whatever. And then he takes a sip from this. It's cold out. He takes a sip from this mug, and I'm like, "Oh, dang! I didn't know you drank coffee, man. I'm kind of surprised." He's like, it's actually chai tea." I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, sass master. It's chai tea." I'm sorry, man. I didn't know what. My bad.
That was a moment where you should have checked yourself before you wrecked yourself.
Absolutely. We also, I worked with a guy who they nicknamed Sassy Pants. Uh,
You gotta do something really unique to get that nickname.
he was flamboyant, and I just remember they told him like, "Yeah, we called you Sassy Pants."
Oh,
bro.
like so that he didn't know at first.
He didn't
Okay,
initially.
yeah.
It was like it's so weird the way he reacted to it. He puts his hands on his hips and he's like, "I'm not sassy."
Responded with the most sassy, the most sassy response you could have.
Golly gosh. Peace and blessings, kings and queens. I'm Jaquan Davis.
And I am Nicholas Fletcher.
And welcome to another episode of Sync Boys, Love America, we can touch you. Welcome to another episode of the Young Old Heads podcast, the podcast where we talk about a little bit of everything and a whole lot of nothing. Nick Fletcher, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. I've had a good week. I worked today. Went and did some jujitsu with my clients.
Jiu-jitsu, casual, just throw the jiu-jitsu. I do a little jiu-jitsu.
What's funny is I say it as if like somebody, oh damn, Nick does jiu-jitsu. I do like one class every 3 weeks kind of thing.
Once every 3 weeks, that's hilarious. Well, I'm glad you're doing good because you look horrible. Now me on the other hand, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm in. Today was a good day. I worked out and stuff, and was productive and whatnot. But I don't know. I just feel like I'm in a state of limbo with life in general. Like I feel like I need to make some moves to get more out of life and make my life what I want it to be. But it's just like I don't know what to do. Some kind of.
Bro, actually, very relatable.
You know what I'm saying?
That,
like I don't. So it's rough, but I'm keeping the faith, man. I'm keeping it rolling. So
for me, it's from like an outside perspective. I've achieved so many things that like a lot of people would kill for. I like beautiful family. I own my own business. I do well. All these things like in that context. Like,
yeah, let us know more about how great you are.
Well, no, but that's my thing.
Jealous.
Is within that context, there's still feels like something's missing, and what I think it is life experience. Because even no matter what you have, I think you can get just stuck kind of like the routine.
Yeah.
And I really want to travel.
Same.
I want to go try different foods.
Absolutely.
I want to see like the sights and go places.
I'm with you on that, man. And it's crazy because I didn't really think about this sort of stuff so much when I was younger, but as I get older, it's like really on my mind. Like I haven't seen much of the world at all, bro. So I don't really understand people who are just haven't gotten much out of life, don't want much out of life, and they're just fine. I mean, I guess maybe there's a sense of peace in that. So I can respect that, but I can't relate,
Yeah, no, I
definitely
totally agree.
So.
And especially, my wife and I were talking about, like on a monetary level, she was like, I don't care about the materialistic stuff anymore. She's like, if we're gonna make a lot of money, I want to spend it doing things, like making memories and experiences. Like I don't need the 90-inch curved plasma screen TV and all these kind of things.
I mean, that would be nice, though. Imagine playing Resident Evil on that.
Sure.
That would be dope.
You do have a valid point, sir.
That would be fire.
Yeah. But if you had to choose right now between a 90-inch curved plasma screen TV or 2 weeks in Hawaii with like a budget that you can do whatever you want, what are you picking?
Hawaii all day, every day. Mostly because I got a kind of a small apartment, so 90-inch TV. Like,
your whole entire living room.
Yeah, just walk in and it's just TV and no furniture.
Having to like scoot around your TV to get to
stuff. Like so. No,
TV, could you excuse me? Get over here.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I mean, even if I did have the space, that's still a no-brainer. Yeah. Like that's
Yeah.
Same. So I would absolutely go to Hawaii.
So first on the docket.
The docket.
We kind of talked about this last night when we were just chilling, but Unpopular food opinions.
Food opinions. I think I'm a foodie, is what they're calling it nowadays. A foodie? I don't know.
Oh, I'm 100% a foodie.
I don't know what the actual
I
definition
feel like
is.
that's
So
accurate. Because
it might be something weird, like you like carrots in your butt or something. I don't know.
ew, Jay's a foodie.
Foodie's sexual. Did you not know? Like that means you put your penis in cantaloupes. Like, what did you?
Oh, so I am a foodie. Yeah, okay.
No. So let's talk about some unpopular food opinions, man. I think the first one that we've discussed before, that is polarizing to say the least. Does pineapple belong on pizza?
And yes, I think it does. I think
Abso-fucking-lutely. Oh gosh, I'm gonna try not to get too vulgar on this.
You
Sorry.
just literally talked about putting your penis in a cantaloupe.
I mean, yeah, but that's not. I mean, yeah, I didn't use any curse words though.
That's true. That's a scientific term.
I didn't use a curse
that's
word.
True. Fair enough.
Pineapple absolutely does go on pizza. I think for me, I don't like just pineapple though. I like that contrast of like sweet and savory. So I'll do like pineapple with something salty, like
the
maybe even
Canadian
the
bacon?
Canadian bacon or pepperoni or something like that. Which I know isn't an option for you because you're vegetarian.
Yes,
but,
sir, I am.
but yeah, pineapple absolutely does belong on pizza. But I think like you got to limit. You can't be just trying different fruits on pizza.
Yes, exactly.
Like it doesn't.
Right.
You can't.
I feel like somebody tried pineapple and maybe before tried other fruits,
Yeah.
and pineapple is the right one. Because if you told me right now, like, yeah, I just ordered a strawberry pepperoni pizza,
Bruh,
I would
I s-
probably commit you.
I seen pictures of somebody had a strawberry pizza and a banana pizza, and
Yeah,
nope, I don't want any parts of that.
Well, and again, I think it falls under the vein of the different contrasting tastes.
Yes.
Because you have the super sweet, almost tart pineapple,
Yeah.
and then even just the cheese in itself is just
Yeah,
that kind
savory.
of that savory contrast. So I think that's what makes it good.
Absolutely,
And pineapple is actually my favorite fruit. So I will say
it's a
oddly
top
enough-
5 for me.
I will say oddly enough, I was the guy that if you would have asked me that question, like let's say 2 years ago, I'm like, hell no,
Yeah,
ew,
what's
like,
wrong
gross,
with
whatever.
you? You insulted my ancestors.
But I was also the same guy who'd never like tried it.
Oh,
So based off being like a fruity pineapple on a cheesy pizza, like why would you do that?
Yeah.
And then some friends came over and ordered it and told me to try it. So I did, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's good,
Like
man.
delicious.
Good stuff.
It totally changed. It was.
I feel like though it has to be like the little diced pieces, like it always
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Because if you were to have like one of them circular,
I've
cuts,
seen that they've done that. Yeah,
no,
I've
no,
seen
no,
it.
no, no,
Yeah,
no.
I've seen it
That's
where
too
we'll
much.
do the circular cut. And that you're right because that's too much pineapple.
Yeah.
Like, the perfect thing about the little slices of pineapple, and I'm talking like not even slices, dices.
Yeah, the little
is you get the
pieces.
perfect amount.
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
A little bite, you don't get a like it's not half pineapple, half cheese.
Yeah.
It's
If they were to do like a slice, like how they put on the ham, the holiday ham,
Yeah.
no, man, like we don't have anything to talk about here. I'm gonna show myself
And
out.
we're leaving
I'm gonna head on. Time for me to hit the old dusty trail. So in terms of foods, what else is? I think for me, I know a lot of people who like to just snack on like peppers and stuff. I'm not a fan, bro. I don't want to just eat a pepper. I'm good. I don't.
Yeah, I agree. Because I can see why people do it. Like I knew a guy who loved banana peppers and would just eat them straight out the jar.
Yeah.
Understandable. I think banana peppers taste good, but I've never and probably will never do that myself.
Yeah, I don't think I would either. Like I like peppers on like I like supreme pizza a lot, so I'll get that with like green peppers and red peppers and stuff. But just to just eat a jalapeno, like oh yeah, I'm gonna snack on a couple of
Yeah,
jalapenos.
and I've eaten like just a little slice of jalapeno before, but I've never. It's maybe been I've had like nachos, been eating my nachos and then grabbed a jalapeno. I've never cracked open a jar of jalapenos.
Yeah.
I was like, let me eat these jalapenos.
Yeah, I know.
And I get why some people might do it, but I've never done it. Here's one of mine unpopular food opinions. I think it's strange when you have a certain type of like we'll say sunflower seeds or chips,
Yeah.
and they flavor them with something very specific.
Like what?
Like cheeseburger, like a cheeseburger
That's
flavor
not a
chip.
thing, man.
It's a real thing.
Cheeseburger, sunflower seeds, bro.
I swear,
No.
Google it right now. Google it.
Let me get my phone now.
Yep, and cheeseburger chips. And the reason I say cheeseburger chips is because I witnessed somebody purchase them like 2 days ago at the gas station. Cheeseburger
Yeah, I
flavored
remember. Doritos a few years ago, they had this brand called Late Night, and there was a few different flavors, but I know they had one flavor that was like something fast food cheeseburger or something like that. And bro, I don't know how they manufacture these things, but when you ate them chips, it tasted like a cheeseburger with tomato
And
on it.
that's
And I'm
strange to
just
me.
like, that's impressive. It's weird,
It
but
is. It's impressive, but I just think if I'm gonna eat a cheeseburger,
I stand
I
corrected.
told you.
Yeah, I seen. So they got the taco seasoning, sunflower seasoning, and also cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Wow,
So and it falls under a whole lot.
that is weird, man. I do like the nacho cheese flavored ones and like barbecue and stuff, but I don't know
but
the
that's what I mean.
cheeseburger.
Something so oddly specific. Like I saw, I think I don't know if it was Lay's or whatever chip company, but they did this thing where fans would submit ideas for chip flavors, and then they picked three of the most popular ones.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And then
Yeah,
the most popular one became like a limited edition one.
yeah. Because they did. I remember one
And
year
there
they
was like
did.
a gyro one, like it was like a Greek.
Yeah.
And it was so strange again because it's such an oddly specific thing, like a
Did you
chip
try
that
'em?
tastes like yes, I tried every one of them.
I remember. I don't know if it was because they were doing that. That was like a yearly thing for a while. And one year they had like a chicken and waffle flavor one that was pretty good. And they had some that was like mocha cappuccino.
Yeah, it's just
And then
strange
there
to
was
me.
like what was that other flavor? There was another flavor that was weird. Oh, biscuits and gravy.
Yes,
It's like
right.
as a potato
Again,
chip. That's just
oddly
kind of
specific thing to
not
like put
what.
into a chip. And also, what's the science behind that?
That's what I
How
wanted
did you
to.
discover how to
Flavors.
make a chip taste like biscuits and gravy?
It's impressive, man. But
You know what
it's
it reminds me of?
But
Did you ever watch the show back in the day, Dirty Jobs?
I did not.
So it was this dude who went around and he just did the most filthy, like lots of times like light labor intensive or gross just jobs, and that was basically the show. It was just they'd follow him around and he would do that. And one of the jobs that he went to check out like how it works was the Jelly Belly factory. And have you seen?
I love those. Yeah.
Okay.
I
Have
love
you
those.
seen the Jelly Belly jelly beans that are like gross flavored?
Oh yeah, I remember I had one that was soap flavored.
Yeah, there's soap, there's booger flavored,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
bar flavored and whatever.
Yep.
So he goes and it actually showed the science behind how they do it.
Really?
And he got to pick a new.
I'm kind of bothered that that's
Yeah.
a dirty job. But go
Yeah.
ahead.
So he picked he got to pick a flavor to make a jelly bean, and you know what he picked?
What?
Dirty boot. And you know how they did it?
How?
He took his gross sweaty sock and like wrung it out in a cup, and they used that as like the baseline for the flavor. Dead ass.
Gross.
Yeah, yeah.
So for the soap flavor, they actually probably carved a little bit of
Yeah,
soap.
I'm assuming, I don't know, however they get the flavor profile, but yeah, they had to get, like, he had to wring out his sock into, like, a cup, and it was
That's crazy.
disgusting.
I remember they had a butter popcorn flavor, and I really liked that one a lot.
It's funny, Atlas, he calls them, my son Atlas, calls them caca beans.
Caca
because
beans.
we bought them one time, like, as a novelty, you know, it's
Yeah.
fun to have them around. I'm like, hey, eat this jelly bean, and
Yeah.
then somebody eats a barf jelly
Yeah.
bean. Yeah, and, oh, bro, have you ever eaten the gross ones like that, like Beyond Soap, the gross ones?
I don't know if I've had any of the other gross,
Okay, well,
gross
they're
ones.
horrifically disgusting. Like, makes my stomach turn kind of gross.
We should do an episode
Where we
once we
just eat
start.
them?
Yeah, we just-
100,000%.
We just get like a big bag with that has a variety.
And shake
it
'em up
and
and just-
you don't know what's what, and just
Yes, I'm 100%.
I think there's actually a game.
Yeah, there
like
is that. It's
Yeah.
Bean Boozled. That's what
Okay.
we had. So we had the Bean Boozled game, and it came with a little pack. Well, Atlas, loving jelly beans, would eat any one of them and never grimaced or nothing. So he was eating the barf and booger flavored ones,
Oh.
and we kept telling him that they were caca. We'd go, ew, don't eat those. Those are caca. And then he'd get mad because he'd like see him and go like, I want the caca beans. And so he called them caca beans, and I'm like, well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So another one that's polarizing nowadays in terms of foods. You might not be with me on this one. I actually like candy corn.
I don't.
I like it. People hate it. They talk about it tastes like candle wax and all this. I love it.
You know
I'll
what-
take all of it.
You know what it tastes like to me?
What?
Candy corn. I have no other base comparison.
Yeah, it doesn't
It
really
tastes like
taste like
candy corn.
anything else. I used to pretend they were little safety cones when I was a kid.
Really?
And yeah, I'd
You know
set them
what?
up and
Something I did similar to that was what were they called? They were the chips, but they were like shaped like cones. God, what were they called?
bugles.
Bugles, and I would put them on my fingertips.
Oh
pretend they
yeah,
were
yep.
No, but candy corn to me, it's not even really a flavor thing, and this is huge
It's
for
a
me.
texture.
Texture.
It is kinda
something could
waxy.
taste. Yeah, something could taste good, and my brain, if it has an odd texture, is just like, nope, like not interested. Get it
I
out of
don't
here.
know that. I feel like I don't. I don't know. I feel like if it has a good flavor, I can usually. Well, I'm not. There's not really any textures that I'm like disgusted by though.
Yes, yeah,
So
I
I
have
don't
that.
think it's really a factor much for me. Like there is something like, oh, that's a nice texture, but it's never like, oh, the text. It tastes good, but the texture is
Well, it's
gross.
like I told you upstairs when I gave you that chip. When I
Yeah.
was like, dude, like the best texture of a chip. And I stand by that because those chips, they have the, I don't, it's a weird thing to comment on, but like when somebody's like, you like those chips? I'm like, man,
The
it had a
texture
great,
on these.
the texture on that chip was wonderful.
Immaculate texture. 10 out of 10.
Speaking of texture quickly though, and this is probably maybe an unpopular food opinion, but you know what I cannot stand? It's probably my number one when it comes to like texture food that I cannot eat.
What?
Lucky Charms marshmallows.
Yeah.
Crunching into them is the equivalent of nails on a chalkboard. The,
I think you would actually.
oh, bro, I hate it.
I
And
feel
they
like
get
you.
stuck in your teeth.
Yeah. I feel like you actually mentioned that on the episode before, but
Awful. I hate it.
but I don't know, man. I used to like Lucky Charms as a kid, but they would always make my stomach hurt. I don't know. No other cereal.
Really?
I like eat them before school, and then like an hour within school, like my stomach's hurting. I don't know.
Probably the
It was
insane
weird.
amounts of
And then
sugar.
it might be. And then like Captain Crunch, I used to love, but it would just
Jagged, rip your mouth
jagged,
apart.
just
You
saw the
wanna
roof of my mouth.
Yeah, literally, it's like a bowl of glass.
Just, just damaged. Oh man, it was so
Message
bad.
it.
Like
It really was.
You
like,
know what else is brutal too? If we want to talk about food injuries, like if you eat Doritos and you get a piece wedged between your
Yeah,
teeth.
yeah.
Oh man, or even popcorn.
Yeah,
like
popcorn
you get a,
was what I was thinking of. Is being nothing was worse to me. Well, there's a lot of things worse. That's very dramatic.
Yeah, I was gonna
first
say,
first world problems. But it's horrible at the movies when you're like say watching the previews before the movie, just munching on your popcorn, and then a big fat like piece of the kernel gets stuck in your teeth, and it's stuck there, and your teeth
yeah.
feel all tight because it's
Yeah.
like wedged in there,
Yep.
and then you have no way to get it out, so you have to just accept for the rest of the movie you got this big old popcorn. Yeah, it
not a
sucks.
comfortable fella, man. I might be alone in this, but if I get to the movies early enough, I usually finish my popcorn before
I have
the
a big
movie
problem
starts.
with that. I have a big problem with finishing like all my snacks before, because I'll get like popcorn. Because when I go to the movies, that's what I miss about. I feel like it's a dying era.
Yeah.
Like we're watching it die as we speak.
Yeah.
But
It sucks too, man, because
Well,
I
I
like
love it.
that. I
Oh,
like
dude,
that experience. It's
going
cool to
to
be
the
able to
mo-
watch stuff at home, but
it's just a different experience, you know, going to the movie. And at home, like at home, you'll probably catch me throughout the movie getting on my phone, checking things, whatever. At the movie theater, I don't even touch my phone.
full attention because you paid to
100,
be
yeah,
here.
100,
like-
and not only that, but it's a giant screen, the
Yeah.
atmosphere itself. But I'm notorious for finishing snacks before, because I'll get there early, sit down, trailers will start, and I'll eat, like I'll get a pretzel, eat my entire pretzel, drink half my soda, have half my popcorn gone, and then like movie will be 5 minutes in and I have to pee and my stomach's all full and
Absolutely have been there before. I always finish my snacks like it's kind of sad, man. Like unless I get there late, they're done. By the time movie's going,
Yeah.
ain't no. I might have a little
and
bit
that
of drink
becomes a
left.
whole nother problem, because when do you leave to pee?
Yeah.
Like at what, like you have to wait for a lull in the movie and then come back and like, what did I miss?
Yeah.
As the movie's still playing.
Yeah, and you got somebody explaining it to you, and people are looking like, man, if you don't be quiet,
Wear a
bro.
diaper like the rest of us.
You know what I wish I would have gotten to experience, which I know there's still some of these, is a drive-in movie. I've never gotten to experience
They're
that.
still around.
I wish
They
were
actually
more
they
common.
got reignited during COVID. That
Oh,
was like
really?
a thing. Yeah, it was a big
That
thing.
makes
where-
sense. I didn't realize that. That makes sense. Yeah.
I was watching a comedian talk about during COVID, he started doing, the only way he could tour at the very beginning was they were doing drive-in, like comedy shows.
Oh.
And his joke was that it was terrible. He goes, because one, you can't hear anybody laugh like in
Yeah.
their car, so it's like there's no like the punchline, which I'm sure helps fuel the motivation as a comedian. And he goes, and then if somebody didn't like you, you'd be on stage and all of a sudden the headlights would hit you and you'd see a car reversing and flipping around and drive away.
Yeah, I had enough of this bullshit. Oh gosh, that is hilarious, man.
Last unpopular food opinion for me.
Oh wait, no, I got one more
you got
before
one?
after you
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
After you say yours.
Oh, me first?
Yeah, go ahead.
So mine is spicy food. I love it. I love spicy food.
Oh,
And when I say, but here's the thing, spicy, probably beyond a degree of an unreasonable spicy.
So you like your food to hurt a
Yes,
little bit.
and
Nope.
a lot of times it's in a challenging setting.
Nah.
I'm the kind of guy, I'm the idiot who could go to a barbecue and somebody could be like, "This is the hottest hot sauce in the world," and I'll be like, "Bet, like let me try
Prove it.
I'll take a bite of it and be miserable for 2 hours.
Yeah,
I'm that guy, and
You're-
while I'm suffering, I'll think to myself like, "Man, I shouldn't have done that." But then I'll do another hot challenge. Like me and Crook did that Pocky one chip challenge.
Yeah.
Hottest thing to this day I've ever eaten. It took me to a whole nother realm. I felt when it started to go away, I felt like I was on drugs because my endorphins were just snapping off and I was like all tingly. Oh man, it was so
I
hot.
don't want to be
So
a part of
hot, bro.
that. I could give me some Frank's Red Hot, and you go too much more than that, I'm tapping out, bro.
Felicia is the type like Tabasco. She's like, whoo, like hot. Like,
I never cared for Tabasco.
I feel like I seared my. I've had to like change my palate to a pretty big degree once I got into hot food, because the chips upstairs that I gave you. It's funny for people listening. They're like, "What chips are you? What is he talking about?" But they're these really good chips, and they're chips that are. It's the company that made that one chip challenge.
Yeah.
And they like rate their chip on like a scale, and this one was like, "Oh, it's kind of hot." Felicia will eat like 2 of them. Like, okay, that's too much. To me, not even spicy.
That's weird because I don't have the palate for spicy stuff,
And it
but
wasn't
that
spicy?
wasn't. Yeah, that was like nothing to me.
Felicia's soft when it comes to spices, though.
Sounds like it.
She could have like paprika and be like,
Oh my god, that's like. Do you remember
big red just
Do you
sends her.
remember? You remember Wingers?
Yes, yeah.
Did you ever used to have their sticky fingers?
Yeah.
We had back when they were still here. We had it for lunch at work one day, and this guy I worked with at the time, he like was suffering because they were too hot for him. And I was
Really?
just like,
Yeah.
bro, I don't do hot, and these are fine. Like, I
wonder
Those
what
were
it
so
is
good.
about the palate, because we looked up last night how the tongue works and like
Yeah.
what areas think, because I watched this hot challenge one time. It was a contest, and they had a guy on there who he's the guy who ended up winning, but the hottest pepper in the world. Okay, I forget what the name of it was, but there's a video that went viral of him online. If he had a bag of them and was just dipping his hand in and just biting off and throwing the stem out, and he ate a whole bag of them.
No.
And like something just crazy hot, to the point where I'm not even exaggerating, something that would probably send me to the ER. And he just ate them like stone cold face.
That's
was
so
totally
crazy.
fine, and then went on to win that hot challenge.
What does that do to your insides? Like,
You want to know the honest answer?
What?
It's just as hot coming out, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. It is just as hot coming out. It's
burning
bad.
booty,
Yeah.
burning booty hole. So
I have a bidet upstairs and it shoots cold water, and it was my friend after the
I believe
the one
that.
chip.
Soothing.
Steam was coming off.
Okay, so we'll conclude this segment with my unpopular opinion nowadays, which I never knew it was unpopular. I absolutely love Twizzlers, man. Strawberry
I.
Twizzlers.
Me too.
And people are like, "Oh no,
That's
they're
an
trash."
unpopular opinion?
Yeah, people hate on Twizzlers,
You want to know?
bro.
I'm the
People
opposite
hate on Twizzlers.
because of red vine.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. And then one thing I seen, like people like them nasty ass circus peanuts.
Yes,
The big
It
orange.
tastes like bananas.
Those are
They have like a
disgusting.
banana flavor
Yeah,
and
they're-
they're an orange peanut.
And then you know what else? Just to touch on something else real quick. Peeps are nasty as hell too. I hate
I don't like
Peeps.
Peeps either.
I don't. Who are those for, bro? And Pepsi has they're bringing out a Peeps flavored Pepsi. Three different ones. There's a yellow, a blue, and a pink.
Peeps
for Easter.
flavored Pepsi.
Yes.
So the drink tastes like a peep.
Apparently,
How?
I don't know. I'm
that
curious, but
I want to know at what boardroom, what lunatic walked in there and was like, This is my idea,
Yeah,
guys.
peeps. I don't know how peeps are still a thing. So I even remember being a kid. My mom brought them, and I was like trying to be polite.
Thinking about it makes my teeth hurt.
And like they're not soft marshmallows, like they're weird, man, and the tart and
Yeah.
so I never cared for those, but I absolutely love Twizzlers, and I just found out like recently, like a lot of people do not like them. And
Until you brought up Twizzlers, never dawned on me, but I've before got Twizzlers and had people just kind of offhand be like, "Oh, red vines are better."
yeah,
And I'm like, "What? Like, you
and I don't,
hating
see,
that?"
I had Twizzlers all my life, and then
I love Twizzlers.
I had went to the movies, and that's what I wanted was some Twizzlers, but they didn't have them, so I went for the red vines, and I'm like, oh, these ain't Twizzlers.
Exactly.
You know?
Because
So maybe that's what it
drastically
is.
different.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe that's what it is. If you're, your palate's used to one, the other's
Yeah,
just
no,
such
just,
a shock to it,
I totally
But okay, moving right
Next
along.
topic.
Keep it moving.
All right, so next topic, we are going to talk about red flags in relationships.
Red flags in relationships.
You do one, I'll do one.
Showing hostility towards your ex. Like, if I get involved with a girl and she's like constantly, oh, my ex did this or my ex did that, or watching a movie with her, oh, that guy reminds me of my ex. He's
Yes,
stupid
yeah.
like that too. I'm like, you're not over your ex, so are you, ma'am?
Yeah.
Because I feel like with me, everybody's different. I don't think if you still got some type of real feelings towards your ex, you shouldn't move on quite yet because you put another person in that weird position where it's like,
No,
we're gonna keep talking about your ex, or I know for me with my exes, bro, like I don't hate any of my exes whatsoever. There's no woman on this planet I've ever been involved with that I hate. Like any woman
Same, yeah.
any woman from my
couldn't think of one,
past, they fall in one of two categories. Either we're cool, like I'll see you, say, hey, how you doing? Might even chat with you, or it's like complete apathy. Like
Yeah.
I don't want nothing bad to happen to you, but I don't care about your life. Like
Yeah. No, fair. That's fair. Yeah.
You're the past. Like I'm not worried about nothing you're doing.
As I just scanned through the 3 girls that I've ever kissed, same.
Yeah.
Yeah. No malice at all.
I mean, that's pretty impressive, man. Three girls. So yeah, that's a big one for me. Like if she can't really go a short amount of time without talking about her ex, it's always like, yeah, you're talking about him again.
Yeah.
Like if you say one thing, it's like
Or even if it's multiple times, but throughout a long.
Yeah, like if it's like
period.
every other time we hang out, you mention something once, okay, whatever. But
And I think what can happen is I think a lot of people, male and female, might be traumatized by their past relationship. So maybe talking about it is their way of like working through it. But this is maybe if somebody's in that situation and listening, maybe that's a sign to be like, hey, find a healthier way to cope.
yeah, absolutely.
Like,
And then you see all the memes. It's like people wanting to kill their exes and all this crazy
Well,
stuff.
the ones,
and I'm like,
would you slap your ex for $10 million? And people share it like, easy.
yeah, like it's just would you rather do a kilo of cocaine or get back with your ex?
Call me Scarface,
Yeah,
bro.
like it's like, man, dial it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, man. I think, because, like my son's mother, obviously an ex of mine, she's like a good friend of mine. So, I see that type of stuff and I'm like, well, she's my friend. I don't want her.
I'd say I'm friends with like 90% of my exes. And even if like very similar to you, if not friends, again, like total apathy.
Yeah, just
Total
apathetic.
apathy.
Like I just
I don't have any like ill like will.
Yeah,
towards you.
like
Like,
it was so weird.
I hope you're doing well.
It was so weird a couple years ago. Somebody tried to update me on the ex of mine's life, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that ain't my business. And they like kept talking. I'm like, oh, that's not my business, bro. Like, what are you?
You
And, like
can stop
kept
at any
talking.
point,
They
yeah.
kept talking. I'm like, so you gonna make sure I know this stuff that I don't want. You gonna make sure I receive this
I'd actually
information.
prefer if you didn't continue to tell me.
Yeah, like you gonna make sure I receive this information I don't want. Like, what could you can you stop, please? Like, so stuff like that. It's like I don't care, man. I feel like it takes energy to hold grudges and have hate towards
Yes,
somebody, and I think that's part of how I have such peace and a lot of aspects of life is just being able to let stuff go.
Yeah. Which is an absolute necessity, I
Yeah,
think.
absolutely. Absolutely. Imagine if all these negative emotions and anger and grudges you carried around. Imagine there was a physical manifestation
Like
of
on
it.
your
Let's
back,
say a
yeah.
little, yeah, a literal. Let's say you had a big ass knot on your back
Yeah.
for everyone, So it's just
Yeah. So mine would be like toxic jealousy. So I
yeah,
feel like there's a
good one.
degree of jealousy that makes sense in a relationship,
Yeah,
but I'm talking the level of walking into the store with your girlfriend and a girl you knew from 10 years ago was in town. I was like, hey, how you been?
yeah,
And then it turning into like a 5-week fight.
yeah.
You're
Who
like,
was
what,
who
how do
was
you know
that
it?
bitch?
Like who? Yeah, exactly.
There's always she got to be out of her
Or
name.
even to the point where it's like, hey, why did this girl like your profile
Yeah.
picture? Like, or things like that. Because I think we've all had an ex like that.
Oh yeah. I had one ex get mad at me for liking pictures. She told me, "Oh, if you like that girl's picture, that just means you want to bang her."
yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, no, not necessarily. I mean, I won't say that's never been the case. That I'd be a damn liar if I said that. But no, because a lot of times it might be somebody on their fitness journey,
Yeah,
or somebody
yeah.
with the picture of their baby, or showing off an engagement ring, or a late. She's
And I
got
can
her
even
hair
understand,
done.
like you said, if the picture was them in like a bikini, like spring break, and
Yeah.
like, like
If it's
okay,
her
makes-
bent over showing cake, okay, I got you. But yeah, it was just like a lot of times it's like, well, I like my sister's pictures and my mother's pictures. What are you saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's not always the case, but yeah, I definitely dealt with that
Yeah, or-
jealousy on that front. Or I don't know, man. I just like any girl who just has an issue with. Like, 'cause if a chick is like friends with the opposite sex, I need to know the scenario, and I would understand her wanting to know the scenario. Like, how
Yeah,
do you
that's
guys
fair.
know each other? Do
Yeah.
you have a romantic history? Whatever.
No,
whatever.
and that is fair. That is
So
very fair.
I get that, but if you just see me say hi to somebody, hey, how you doing? Who the fuck was that? Why you
Yeah.
saying hi to her? She looked at you like y'all had sex before.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what?
Have you guys hooked up before? I'm like, no, like she went to third
She
grade.
had lust in her eyes. She looked at you like she rolled your face before.
You clap having Jezebel.
Gosh, man, no, that's a good one. Absolutely, the
Yeah.
toxic jealousy.
Yes,
I
yeah.
do think that is a big one, man. I don't know, and just that possessiveness. Of
Yes.
Not even wanting you to be friends. Like I said, I get there's boundaries and stuff, but like I don't know, man. It might be weird if you just spark up a friendship with another woman in the midst of being with your lady and your lady don't know about it.
Yeah, no, and that-
Something
again,
like
yeah,
that.
exactly,
If she
yeah.
found out, oh, who's like that, I would totally understand a woman being upset about that, or even vice versa. Like, so
Yeah. Another one I think would be the mistrust. So, and the first thing that comes to my mind is the cell phone thing. If
Yeah.
like your girl grabs your cell phone, and you're like, no, 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 no,
yeah, break a door down.
yeah, that kind of thing. To where it's like why? I will say I'm lucky enough that I could take my phone upstairs, leave it on the table on the charger, and have my wife go through every inch of it and not be concerned about her being upset with me.
That's good, man. You would be
and,
trash if there was
and
something
vice
that-
versa. Like vice versa, I could go through my wife's phone, because you see, it's actually a common thing I think in today's era where it's the ongoing joke of like not letting your partner see your cell phone and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
No, I get that. I think, I mean, I understand having, but you got to have that trust. Otherwise, you will have a fear of somebody else intruding on your relationship. Like,
yeah, you.
the reason I'm saying that is because I have been accused, or not accused, I won't say accused, but there's been people who have thought like I was a threat to their relationship. And I'm like, absolutely not, bro.
Same,
Like,
yeah.
I respect relationships. Like, I'm never going to try to end a relationship to get, like, I don't know, people think I'm some kind of nasty dog. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
he going to take my girlfriend. Like, I've never done that. I've never tried to do that. I don't, that's the thing about my moral code, man. Like, I mean, I was kind of a Jezebel, a slut baker in my early 20s and stuff. I'm not on that no more, but even then, I've always had morals. Like anybody who
same,
knows me,
yeah.
I've always had a strong moral compass, and so it's like I would never intrude on a relationship. And I even know there was one girl, she would like add me on Facebook, and then delete me. Like, and this was going on for a while. And so, like, after like the fifth time, I messaged her like, "Yo, so this, like, why do you keep doing this? Like, what do you think is gonna happen here?" And she was like, "Oh, boyfriend drama. Like that was just supposed to excuse it." I was like,
Yeah,
"No,
yeah.
hold on. I have more questions
Yeah, like
now.
why am I the guy
What do
getting
I have?
deleted? Yeah.
Like, me and this girl had zero romantic history. Never even hugged. Like, we just had mutual friends, but see each other at the bar. Probably took shots together and stuff like that. And I'm like, so what is like what's the deal here? Like why?
Yeah.
Oh well, boyfriend drama. He don't want me being friends with certain people and blah blah blah. I was just like, you
Yeah,
know
why
what?
am I certain people?
I don't even care. Whatever.
Well, a real story that happened to me, and it's happened frequently throughout my life, but a specific incident. I worked at a company that was predominantly female, and I was like the rare like anomaly of like having a male staff there. And there were three girls in particular that worked there at different times. Were like, my boyfriend hates you. Like
Wow.
because like at work sometimes a guy would come in and bring him lunch and stuff, and like it's one of those things where I would see these people introduce myself, be super friendly, they were friendly to me, and then weeks later they're like, oh, he hates you. And I'd say
Wow.
why, and they're like, yeah, he just like he's like, they basically they think that you're gonna try to hit on me, and
Yeah.
and to me I'm just like, based off what, like what
Exactly.
have I done to
Exactly.
like.
Now I could see if you had made a move.
Exactly, or if she was going home and saying like, "Oh, I work with this
Yeah,
guy."
he's being really flirty. I don't
Yeah,
know, or like you send her a message like, "Hey, leave that zero and get with a hero."
yeah, exactly.
Like I would never, bro. And then there was another situation with a girl who I actually had some romantic history with. She was dating some crazy dude, and she would do the same thing, like delete me and her were cool. She would delete me, add me back, and so on and so forth. So that's the same thing with her. I'm like, yo, why the hell do you
Like,
keep?
what? Yeah, what's happening?
She's like, oh well, my boyfriend, he was her ex at the time. I don't know what the story is now, but he would he would actually go through my friends list and message people and as me and like say stuff.
Oh, it's like
I'm like, okay, so yours makes more sense because you're just trying to make sure I'm not involved in the
and that's
bullshit.
fair. Especially, what a shitty way to set somebody up.
Yeah,
Because if I went and did that on like Felicia's profile, I'm gonna assume if I did it to any of my friends that they'd all hit me up and like, yo, like they'd probably hit me up and like, you hacked your wife, huh? Like,
yeah,
but like if some random maybe like acquaintance and I did that, that's a setup because that guy's probably gonna be like, hey, like, what's up?
yeah,
And then
exactly.
and then I'm gonna be mad about it, like, hey, like this guy, like, you set me up, bro.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
so
I think that but also on parallel to that, I also think you shouldn't like with the cell phone conversation involved. You also shouldn't have a relationship where you want to check their cell phone.
absolutely, yeah,
It shouldn't be it shouldn't be a situation where it's like, oh, you want to check my cell phone and you can. It should be the thing where it's like, well, like if you ever did, of course you're not going to find anything,
yeah.
but you shouldn't be combing through my phone thinking you're going to find
Yeah,
something.
that's the thing. Well, see, I'm gonna lie. I'll come clean here. Of years and years ago, I was in a situation with a woman who, like, I don't know, it was like an on again, off again thing. But I think we were, you would say we were in a relationship. And I got really drunk one night, and she went through my phone and
Okay.
found that I was, let's say, we can say I wasn't cheating, but okay, so if cheating was a neighborhood, I was like checking out houses.
you're
Like,
you're like
so
strolling down the
yeah, I
street. I
was
hadn't bought
strolling.
property
Yeah,
yet.
what is this house here? Can I go inside just for a minute?
Can you send me pictures of that?
So and that was like the implosion of our relationship, and rightfully so. Like me and my
Yeah,
warped
fair,
mind
yeah.
at the time was like, oh well, if you go looking for something, you gonna find it, like, which was stupid. It's like I shouldn't have been doing these things, but
Yeah.
you live and you learn.
That's a funny argument too.
What?
The like you should basically like the scapegoat
go-
of the guy being like, well, you shouldn't have went looking.
Yeah,
Like
well,
this.
you gonna find something. You wanted to go looking, so So
I will say another really toxic thing is the constant forgiveness for things that are way beyond forgiveness.
such as
I would say in the connotation of maybe we'll say a multiple like a person who's cheated and got caught multiple times
Yeah.
and this person just this like male female just keeps going back over and
Absolutely.
over. It's like, okay, you got to stop. Or somebody who is just in a super toxic relationship where they're just like terribly nasty to one another, and they just continue to go repeat that cycle. That's
Yeah,
things like
that's
that
another
are.
thing. People have like romanticized the toxic relationships with
Yeah,
social
like
media.
the Harley Quinn Joker thing,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the "if you can't handle me at my worst, and you don't deserve me
Oh,
at my
but
best" quotes.
oh yeah, oh gosh, or oh yeah, he can't. He's boring. I want a man that's going to knock my head between the washer and dryer. But it's like, man, so you want to get beat on? Like what? Or one girl was like,
If you can't uppercut, don't DM me.
this dude broke her door, put holes in her wall. She's like, oh, I love it when he's aggressive like this. I'm so turned on right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, damn, y'all toxic as hell,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, and I think that's what it boils down to is just a toxicity. Just, and it's a good parallel into what we talk about often is healthy communication.
Yeah.
And also just awareness. I think as hard as it is, and this is where you just brought up a minute ago about peace with things,
Yeah.
acceptance of things,
Yeah.
is you could be just for whatever reason just really in love with somebody. Like I just love this person. And if you really give it a valiant effort and it just doesn't work out of like a toxic relationship,
Yeah.
and it's you're trying to work on it and they're not, you're at some point gonna have to be like, this just will never work. It won't. Like
Absolutely.
I have to let this person go. As
Well, it
bad
just
as it
happens.
hurts, as much as a hole it's gonna leave in me, like it's just not.
Yeah.
I think that we all have to have that kind of because a lot of times I have seen in relationships where somebody their excuse, no matter how bad it gets, is like I'm in love with them.
Yeah.
And it's like man,
It's like that's not
it-
you
it-
ain't yeah, you
it's-
it's crazy how love works, man. I also think another red flag we can talk about is that person who can't be alone. Like it's like how well do you
yes,
really know
every
yourself?
relationship they break
Yeah.
up and they're right into the next
Yeah,
one.
like it's just like, oh, well, I can't. I think we kind of touched on that before, but
We
yeah,
have
it's
touched
just
on it
like
before.
I'm just like
We have.
I don't understand that. But another thing I would say, I've actually been guilty of this, so I'm calling myself out. When somebody tells you that something's an issue for them, and like you don't make steps to change it, like oh
Yeah, yeah,
you
I
know,
agree.
like whatever it may be, like oh, can you just not do this anymore? And you continue to do it, and they ask you again, and I actually had a relationship fall apart due to stuff like that on my behalf because she wanted me to change some aspects of my life, and I was like, oh yeah, you know, and just how I behaved and stuff, and I just
Well,
never did it.
I think it's relationships are such a two-way street that I'm guilty of that in the past. I'll call myself out. I've been with Felicia for over going on 11 years now. That is wild, bro. That's like
11
that's like a
years.
third of my life. That is wild.
Dang.
And so I've been with her for so long, and throughout a relationship, we've been through the trenches of a relationship. Like we're beyond the like little stupid petty fights kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
we've put in work.
You guys are, it's clear you guys are solid, man.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I
That
think,
that is my day one. Like
yeah,
that, that is my chick right
I
there.
like you see. I don't know. Sometimes you can see when the relationship is kind of forced, but it doesn't feel like that at all.
Yeah,
with you
and
two.
well,
Like,
with her and I, some of our ups and downs we went through, where I was.
you guys are just staying together for the kids.
That's totally what it is.
I hate that, bro.
It's
That's
like
the worst
it's like
thing.
it's like I told you the other night where I was like, yeah, it's a one night stand and she just won't leave. 11 years later, she's like, she won't leave.
No, but that's
she even
terrible.
has children here now.
That's terrible, though. People stay together for the kids. I think that's awful,
Yes,
man.
I
They,
agree.
they need to
and
see
to being
like
toxic for the kids
Yeah.
because these kids, they now the relationship they're witnessing, what they're gonna base their future
that's
relationships
the norm
on
to them.
are normal. Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
that's the norm to them.
Yeah.
What you're showing
Yeah,
them.
you could
so.
like watching somebody get uppercut. Yeah.
You guys,
And then have-
your
and-
dad doesn't beat your mom. What
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what is
no,
this?
I agree. But like with Felicia and I's like ups and downs we went through, where I was guilty and like toxic, would it be in scenarios where I would say, I want XYZ out of you.
Yeah.
This is what I expect out of you. This is what I'd like. This would be great.
That's it.
And then she would respond with like, that sounds great. I want XYZ out of you.
Yeah.
And a lot of hers, for instance, was her love language is very like the endearing kind of like going up and kissing her on the neck when she's cooking, giving her like holding her hand like when we're like take a walk. Very just physical in a non-sexual way, if that
Yeah,
makes
no, I
sense.
feel you.
That's her love language.
I feel
and
you.
only
I feel physical. Anyway,
and like a big one for her was cuddling. So I'd be like,
cuddlation.
here's what I want out of you, and then she'd respond with like, well, okay, I want something as simple as you to cuddle, and I'd be like, oh, I don't cuddle. Like you've known that since we started dating. So it was really
trash, fam.
well, this is a long time ago, bro.
Okay.
I'm
I
talking.
was like,
We're talking an
you don't
11.
cuddle
No,
with your
an
woman?
11-year relationship. So I'm talking when we first got together. So my excuse was I was just like, oh, like I've never liked cuddling.
Yeah.
So here I am being like, I want you to do these things, and her being like, okay, cuddle with me, and I'm like, I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
And it was just unfair. So that's where I talk about that two-way street. To where now, I think cuddling for me, it sounds weird, but even like we'll bring up to cuddling. I kind of actually did some soul searching, and I was like, wait, like why don't I like to cuddle? And then I kind of like did some soul searching, and now I enjoy it. A good cuddle is enjoyable.
Yeah, I feel you on that. I don't know, man. I'm not super duper touchy feely. Like sometimes I'm like, can we just sit
very
here?
similar.
Like, I
Very
don't
similar.
know. And I'm not mad. Just don't like get off me. Like
Yeah.
I don't, But no, that's cool. What is the whole? That's another buzz phrase right now. Love language. Everybody's saying love language. I have no idea what the hell that
So
is.
this is I'm just going to give you based off my understanding of it. My understanding of love language is it's how somebody speaks that they love you non-verbally. Or it could be verbally. I mean, that could be your love language. It could be verbal compliments or whatever.
So if they buy you
But-
sneakers.
Yeah, but your love language, for instance, yours could be like, my love language is that you are understanding and like that I'm really into Madden and playing Madden with my friends, and your girlfriend's response is she learns how to play Madden, and she's like, yeah, because I want to experience that with you. And to you, that would be like love language. She'd be like, oh, like
My love language is a girl making me grilled cheese with white cheddar and Miracle Whip.
That's a very specific love language. But like my love language.
I don't know what mine would be, man. Honestly,
mine's pretty.
I need to figure. How do you go about figuring that out? I don't understand how you.
I think for me, it was just being in a relationship for as long as I have been, and just analyzing. Okay, what things do you do that make me feel like you're like interested me, like truly like in love with me in every facet, like
Okay.
and stuff. So
Yeah.
if that does that make sense?
Yeah, I did. When I was a pothead, I had a girl who would roll my blunts, and I was like, "Oh, come here, girl."
Exactly. Yeah, something that
You know.
that could be that.
But I
simple.
don't smoke weed no more. So what do I?
Yeah. So let me tell you a real scenario. This is going to sound super endearing to people. It's super sweet. Here's how one time my wife spoke my love
the
language.
sappy
Okay?
section of the podcast.
Did it do?
Love.
So one time,
Remember love. Man.
one time the way Felicia spoke my love language, and she does this stuff all the time. My wife is so cool when it comes to stuff like this. But one of my favorite video games ever, Resident Evil 2, they announced the remake, and I'm super excited. Well, back in the day when we first got together, I'd explain my nostalgia attached to Resident Evil 2, and I'd be like, yeah, I'd be having a sleepover with friends, and we'd buy Mountain Dew, and I used to get the purple pack of Skittles, and we'd play Resident Evil and blah, blah, blah. Well, flash forward, I'm talking, since those memories, like the game came out over 20 years ago, they do the remake, and the remake comes out, and I go to get it from the midnight release. I go downstairs, put the remake in my PlayStation. I'm super excited to play. This is recent. It's like 2 years ago. Super excited to play. And my wife walks downstairs and she brings me a Mountain Dew and a purple bag of Skittles.
Aww.
Just because I told her when I was a kid, that's what I used to. And like that to me was like, damn, like
Yeah,
that
that's
little
really-
simple
yeah.
thing.
That is
And-
another thing with somebody. You just tell them like little stuff, but not
And
even
yeah,
thinking
I'm
much.
talking. I bet I hadn't told her that I like purple Skittles in like 10 years.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I know that
No,
that's
I
your
get it.
favorite Skittle.
I get it. It's making more sense to me, man. Like
Yeah.
that is a nice thing. Like just telling them something you like, or just giving them a little anecdote, not expecting
Exactly.
nothing to come up, and they're like, "Hey, here's that thing.
Yeah.
That thing you liked when you were."
And it could be
7."
anything, because like even one of my big things, like my big TMI, everybody, but like I have a very sexual love language.
Okay,
To
you
me-
don't need to.
Well, I'm just
talk
saying it
about
can be. Well, I'm not going to go into details, but I'm just saying like
Magusa. Oh yeah, stopped you right in your damn tracks, didn't I?
That's a story we're gonna have to tell one day.
Oh,
But
gosh.
anyway, but yeah, yeah, but like so, your love language could be anything. It could be like a physical, sexual love language. It could be a like gifts like make you happy? Flowers are your love language.
What about food? I feel like mine
Yes,
probably has something
absolutely.
to do with food.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make me a bomb ass lasagna, and feed it to me. Put a napkin on my.
You're just gonna lay there like just have a bib on.
Come and feed me grapes and rub coconut oil on my body.
I feel like your love language is really shining through in the podcast. Any interested ladies, like, take notes right now.
Yeah. But okay, so moving right along, that concludes that segment. We went from red flags to whatever.
That's it, bro. That's
wow.
that's why once we get going, man, we get going.
Gosh.
Okay, it's random fact segment.
Random fact.
I don't think that's the noise I made.
That's
It's
not how
gonna be
you did it
different every
before,
time.
yeah.
Okay, so my random fact is, do you know what the M's stand for in M&M's?
Is it Mars and something?
Yes,
Mars and something. I don't know what
It's
else.
Mars and Murray.
Murray. Yeah,
It's
okay.
Mars and Murray, and it would be so. The reason why it says Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray were the two businessmen who created the candy, and they actually had a very contentious relationship. And Mars ended up only paying the other dude 20% of his share back in 1949, years before M&M became like the biggest candy, because apparently it's the biggest selling candy in the world, and he paid him only $1 million, which had to be a lot.
That was
back
a
in
lot back in
1949.
then,
Yeah, but he paid him $1 million worth of shares of the business, which is now worth billions.
Oh yeah.
So
And
in
M&Ms,
hindsight, like, because you talk about like longevity, like let's talk about lineage, what you can pass on to your kids.
Yeah.
This guy who got $1 million got fucked out of the deal. You were talking about a candy that's worth billions and billions of dollars.
Yeah, man.
And he got $1 million.
Yeah, like you talk about chocolate candies, somebody's gonna mention M&Ms.
M&Ms, yeah.
Yeah, and
And
it's
they-
great.
they are
Don't they
good.
make? Doesn't that company make a few other? I think they make a few other.
If it's Mars company,
Yeah, I
candy,
think they make quite a few different
Mars makes
things.
all sorts of candy
But
bars.
that's probably their, top most famous one, I would guess. But I don't know, what else do they make? I'm curious to look up. But I do know M&M's. Like,
I have a question for you.
what's that?
Peanut M&Ms or plain?
Ooh, give me the peanut all day, bro. What about you?
Same, 100%.
I love them.
You know what I'll do?
The regular ones are just They're not bad, but like, did you ever have the M&M minis?
Yes, yeah,
I
the
used to
tiny
love
little
those.
tubes.
I
you
like
pop 'em.
those. Yeah, I like
pop
those,
'em,
but
same.
they're like different than.
Yeah, they're softer texture. Yeah. They're way different. I'm a peanut M&M guy. What I'll do is I'll put the peanut M&M in my mouth and I'll like break the shell with my teeth, get all the chocolate off, and then eat the peanut last.
I used to do that as a child, but I mean,
Sorry that
Yeah,
apparently
I'm better than you.
a mature, respectable adult would never eat an M&M
I
in
would
such
never.
a way.
But they got so many different flavors now, man. I really like the crispy M&Ms, which I don't know if they brought them back a few years ago, but I don't know if they're still around. And then they had a coconut flavor that was pretty good. Pretzel was pretty good. That's the
Yeah,
sweet
it was
and salty.
actually, which was again probably one of those weird food categories where originally offhand I'd like
Oh
pretzel, like a
gosh!
pretzel M&M.
Holy shit!
They make a lot of
Mars
candy.
makes a lot of gosh.
Oh, they make Twix.
They
Is
make
that
Milky
Rolos?
Way, Snicker, Mars, Three Musketeers,
yeah.
Twix,
Oh, makes
Kit
sense.
Kat, Butterfinger, Almond Joy, Baby Ruth, Mounds, 100 Grand. Amazing. I remember I had that. I didn't like it.
Are they the candy bars?
Amazing. Yeah,
they're
with
candy
the,
bars with
with the
M&Ms in
M&Ms
them.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, man, that's crazy. They're a Mr. Goodbar, Charleston Chew. Wow, Reese's. Yeah, they're huge. Mars. Okay, they've got to be like the number one chocolate candy.
yeah, that's what
like,
that's what the article says. It says before they were the number one selling candy.
I
in the
didn't
world.
realize all that was under their umbrella. That's crazy.
Like every
man.
candy bar,
They're like a
basically, you could think of.
juggernaut. Yeah.
Right now, if you would have, I probably would have said a candy bar, and you're like, that's a Mars candy bar.
Yeah, more than likely.
What about this one, Mars candy bar?
Yeah, I mean, other than like the Nestle Crunch and things like that. But yeah, M&M's. I seen they got like a coffee flavored one too. I used to like the almond flavor, and what's that other one? Not big on the peanut butter flavor. Never really was too impressed with it.
No.
But,
See, I like the peanut, but I also love peanut butter in general. So.
peanut butter. That could have been one of my food opinions, unpopular food opinions. Peanut butter is over damn rated. Ketchup
Watch your god dang mouth.
Ketchup is borderline nasty.
What?
Yes.
Okay, in every context, or just like ketchup,
Like too much ketchup. You got to be
Yes,
subtle
yeah,
with
I
the
could agree with
ketchup.
that.
And I hate that nasty, crusty stuff that forms around the top of the bottle.
Yeah, the same with mustard though.
Blech.
Mustard does the same thing.
Blech. Or when you, when it's like when you're almost out and that like they call it the ketchup pre-cum.
What? Who's they?
Before, like
Who is
if do
they?
you keep your ketchup in the fridge?
Yes, and it becomes the watery substance.
Yeah,
that
like the
comes out
watery
before.
stuff that comes out before the actual like it slides out of the ketchup,
I've
and then
witnessed
the
it.
actual ketchup comes. They call it the ketchup pre-cum.
Who's they? I want to know who they
The
is.
internet, people on the internet. So I thought that was hilarious. But yeah, ketchup is overrated.
I
So is
like
peanut
ketchup,
butter.
But I agree. Ketchup, I can see in the context of too much ketchup is gross.
Yeah.
Peanut butter, I don't get. I could eat a spoonful of peanut butter off.
No, no, get that the hell out of here.
Man,
A
that's
spoonful of peanut butter for
strange.
what, Nicholas?
it's actually really
Gross.
Good. It's good for you. Peanut butter's got
Some
nutrient-
of it.
protein. Yeah, well, I mean,
Some of it's
yeah,
got a shitload
the
of sugar in it.
yeah.
But okay, so yeah, that's
Okay,
food.
so let's talk about the first hip hop topic on our hip hop podcast.
Oh yeah, this hip hop podcast where we talk about nothing but food and,
Food
and love.
and love language. All right, so next topic is the best rap voices.
Okay, best rap voices. Gosh, man, there's so many people I think
Biggie
I
Smalls.
listen to. A great choice.
Biggie
I would
Smalls.
say Tupac is
Yeah, yeah,
also
oh,
a
yeah,
great
absolutely,
choice.
yeah.
People who you just hear, you're like, yo, you were made to be
Yes, like
rapping.
yes,
Like
100%.
DMX.
I was about to say
DMX is a great legendary rap voice, and he doesn't do this anymore. But I liked early in his career, he would like have these two flows where he'd be like, one was like real calm. I can flip that flow, I can stick that hoe, I can get that dough. You know I'm with that Joe. And then he had like the raspy, but if it holds me to hold my way in the door, you know. So I like that from him, and then like even like a Ja Rule, like with the raspy voice,
that raspy,
made
that
to be
bravado,
rapping, like
that,
yeah.
bravado.
I would say Nas too with the mellow, like calm flow. You know, Jay-Z.
Yeah, Jay-Z's got going.
Also,
Method Man's
Method
on the
Man
top
for
of my
sure,
list,
yeah.
Because you talk about like a guy like Method Man, slick delivery. Like I listen to that dude spit a line and just the way
Traces of lipstick on my collar, baby. You gotta do some more.
yeah,
to get
just
this
the
last
way he
dollar.
delivers it, you're just like
yeah, like he has
full
a
confidence.
He has a distinctive flow
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
Like there was one guy from the '90s. I'm like, yo, he kind of he was a teenager at the time. I heard a song of his. And I'm like, he kind of flowing like Method Man.
Yeah, he has
come
like-
come to find out, Method Man was his ghostwriter, so it made sense why I thought he was.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he has this dope line on like a and that's the thing, longevity. The dude is still one of the most fire MCs on earth. And he has a line on like a new project where he's like something along lines where he's like something because I'm a water sign. Whatever floats your boat, just know the water's mine.
Yeah,
And it's like, bro, and the way he says it, you're just like, that is so slick. Like whatever floats your boat, just know the water's mine. Like that is
Yeah, just
the
dope.
connotation
dope,
of
man.
like, yeah, just
There's one track that I think is dope. I don't know if you've ever heard it, but it's from the late '90s. It's called "Dogs for Life." And tell me this ain't a hell of an all-star team. Method Man, Nas, DMX, and Ja Rule.
Bro.
I gotta show you that song.
you'll
bro.
ha-
I
you'll
have to
ha-
show
you'll
you.
ha- yeah, absolutely
It
have
is
to.
fire. But okay, so those guys, Scarface. Scarface
Yeah.
has a great rap voice.
I feel like a lot of Wu-Tang in general.
Yeah. I've never been real big on You God. I've never been crazy about RZA, man. I don't know.
I said all of Wu-Tang as if I am aware that Scarface is not in Wu-Tang.
Oh, yeah,
But it
that
just
does
tri-
sound
it,
like-
it just
that
triggered
does
like the
sound like-
Ghostface
yeah.
like thing too because
Yeah.
I was gonna say Ghostface, but I'm like, wait, well, all of them like
Ghostface,
RZA,
Raekwon, RZA. RZA just don't do it for me personally.
but he does have a unique voice.
He does.
But I wouldn't say best. You're talking
GZA,
about best, yeah.
absolutely. You God is okay, but I don't. Old Dirty Bastard.
Yes.
Who else is somebody who just like that voice was made for them to be a rapper?
I'd say the Game.
Yeah. How could I?
Yep.
You know, and it's crazy if you look at different periods of his career, like his voice has changed.
Yeah, drastically. If I have an old tape of his from way back, and if you showed me one of his songs now and then and said I'd never heard Game,
Yeah.
I wouldn't think they were the same rapper.
Absolutely.
I'd call you a liar. I'd be like, that ain't the same dude.
I know when I first heard him, I thought he sounded very similar to Dr. Dre. And then when he joined G Unit, I'm like, oh, he kind of sounds like Lloyd Banks. And then after that, it's just like you get different. And one thing about him, he's so versatile, man. Like he can mimic other people's rhyme styles. I don't think many rappers can do that. Like he
Yeah.
can,
And not
like he had a
not only,
song
but
with
well,
and well,
yeah.
like he had a song with Future, and he like did kind of the auto tune type flow, singing type flow. And or he could do like the southern type flow, or he has a song I have to show you with DJ Quick, and he's rapping like one of them dudes from the Bay, where it's kind of offbeat a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like he's a very versatile
He's,
MC. Man.
we've talked about this before. I feel like I've guaranteed had to mention on podcast, but he is a top 5 for me. I think that's one of the illest rappers who's ever blessed a mic.
Yeah.
I feel like he is criminally underrated.
Absolutely.
Like, I truly feel he's criminally underrated. I think he's so dope.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the Game. He's kind of a lunatic, but I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of his music.
He is
Sometimes I'd be like, all right, Game, chill, bro. Like, you relax, man. But
I think he just recently got hit with like a huge lawsuit too. Like,
yeah, he lost one a couple years
it
ago.
was like pretty,
Something.
I think it was some pretty bad allegations.
Yeah, it was some bad allegations for sure. We won't delve into that. That's not our business. I thought Young Buck and Lloyd Banks, both great voices. G-Unit in general. I'm not big on Tony Yayo, but the rest of them.
But he also, I feel, because wasn't he locked up for like a big part of like
yeah. He got out. By the time he got out,
I remember so much in songs Free Yayo.
Yeah. By the time he got out, 50 had dropped his debut. The G-Unit group album came out. And Banks and Buck had both dropped their solo project, and I think the documentary had came out too by that time. Yeah, so he came by the time he dropped his debut album, all that stuff was already out.
He started it.
It's like, oh well, here's where we go downhill.
Yeah, exactly. Here's this guy.
Him too.
Yeah. And not only that, like the weakest link out of the group, let alone like, skills wise. Yeah.
Who else is a great voice
I have
in
to
hip
mention
hop?
it. You already know.
Eminem.
And bro.
Nope.
Come on.
He said, what did he say? Straight vicious. I hit you with plates and dishes. Leave you with 8 stitches. But I'm gay because I hate bitches. Slut, don't be nice to me. Like he was. Eminem is great. He don't have. I feel like I don't hear that animated type flow from him no more.
You're right.
Busta Rhymes. That's another one.
100,000%.
But yeah. What were you gonna say about him?
So with M, it's legitimate. That's where I swear, like, you know how girls' periods link? That's what happened to our brains. Because I legitimately was listening to some of his newer music recently because I just have a hip hop playlist and it just goes through all my favorite artists.
Yeah.
And it has throughout it's got hundreds of songs, but it has M's entire era on it, his whole career on it, like at some point, And I was listening to his newer stuff, and I'm like, man, the dude is so dope still, so dope. But you kick it back to like some early 90s M stuff or our late 90s, early 2000s. And the dude just, in his prime, the lightning in the bottle moment for him, he was something else.
Yeah.
And like you said, that animated flow that was just so unique and charismatic and dynamic that I don't think anybody, even himself included, can recapture.
Bro, I was just listening to Guilty Conscience the other day, and like that's such a fire concept for a record. Like,
and him,
you don't hear stuff like that no
anymore.
More. Like, it's now it's just like I got bitches and money. So bitches, money, I'm drinking lean and liquor. Okay, so we said Busta Rhymes is absolutely phenomenal voice. Who else? Royce is a very good voice. All of Slaughterhouse, I would say. They've all got great
Crooked
voices.
Eye has a really dope voice.
Yeah, for sure. AZ also kind of in that same lane with Nas, with like the calm, laid back flow, but a great delivery.
What would be your opinion on Slick Rick?
I like Slick Rick. I think
because he's unique.
He's very unique voice. Yeah,
Slick Rick
Slick
is a super.
Yeah, I remember in the late 90s, he had dropped the album. He had this one song by Outkast that I absolutely loved, man. I forget the name of it now, but yeah, I was like, that was my shit right there. So who else has a great voice?
Man, I feel like we're going to go back. I feel like we're being so super chauvinistic, but like Lil Kim.
Lil Kim is a great one. Since we're it's the end of Women's History Month, let's just name some women. Great MCs, great voices, whatever have you. Okay, so Lil Kim's a phenomenal choice. Absolutely. I would say Eve. I loved Eve growing up. I don't think she gets her flowers because she was a monster on the mic. Remy Ma is dope.
Yes.
She has one of probably the most vicious diss tracks of the last 10 years.
Yeah. Young Ma's dope too.
Yeah, she's
Young Ma's
dope
pretty
too. She can rap her ass
Yeah,
off.
Young Ma's dope too.
I feel like Cardi can rap. I'm not like gonna turn on none of her music, but I feel like she
Same.
can rap. She's
Same.
good at what she does.
Yeah.
Actually, there's like right now, man. There's almost like a renaissance with the female rappers. Like there's so many of them that are on the charts right now.
Yes,
Cardi
yeah.
was number one. Megan Thee Stallion's always in and out. The City Girls are real popular. There's one girl named is it Mulatto? I don't know how you ever say that, but she can rap. She's all over the place. There's a few other girls too. There's one girl named Amaretta. She's fairly new. She can spit. Cash Doll can rhyme. There's quite a few.
Have you ever heard Snow the Product?
Yes.
She's dope, super dope, a Latina rapper. There's a girl that I found through a contest like thing on Facebook, and she ended up getting a pretty good buzz. But her name's Whitney Payton.
Oh, I never heard of her.
Whitney Payton. She's really dope. Another one, and I'm curious if you've ever heard of her, Ciroc.
No, I have not.
Okay, so she's a female MC who signed under Rhymesayers, I think. It's a Rhymesayers label. I don't know if you know much. It's like Atmosphere. You've heard of Atmosphere.
Yeah.
Right? But I think, and I could be wrong, but I think Ciroc is actually married to Black Thought.
Oh, really?
I think it's his wife, but man.
If she's married to him, you know she got some high standards.
Here's the thing.
He's another great voice in hip hop.
Oh, yes. Yeah, 100%. But with her, content-wise, she's like a poet. This woman is like brilliant. So I don't want to sound bad, but you have like the tiers of like Cardi B. You know what you're gonna get when you hear a Cardi B song. Ciroc's music is very like empowering and deep and like poetic.
Rhapsody.
Yes,
Rhapsody
yep,
is phenomenal. She's probably one of the best MCs to come out. And I don't know, and that's men or women. Like she's one of the best ones to debut, and I don't know how long. So definitely Rhapsody. I just had somebody else in mind, and I'm like, I can't believe I didn't say. I always thought MC Light was dope. She had a really good voice, really good rap voice. Of course, Missy Elliott's a legend.
Missy, yeah. Oh man, how could we not
like
mention Missy?
so, and like not only was she a dope rapper, bro, but like she produced a lot. She can sing. Like a lot of R&B hits she wrote or produced. It's crazy, man.
Queen Latifah
too.
That's another one.
Yeah, she could definitely rhyme. I mean, I feel like I only know a handful of her songs, but I mean, she definitely is lyrical. I don't know if you're familiar with Rod Digger, but she was affiliated with Busta Rhymes back in the day. She could, man.
You know what's weird?
Lauryn Hill too.
Yeah, Lauryn Hill. That's a good example and you want to talk about who can sing and rap? Because Lauryn Hill could sing and rap.
Yeah, Lauryn Hill is a damn legend. I don't care. She's one. They say she can't be one of the greats because she only has one album. And she's only rapping on this amount of the songs, but I'm like, to me, she's one of the greatest female rappers
I feel like
ever.
that's the same argument people try to do with like Andre 3000.
Yeah, it is
like,
pretty much. Pretty much the same exact thing. But yeah, no, Lauryn Hill's legendary. I'm sure I think we've hit most of the major ones. Like you started with Lil' Kim, so that's a good one. Of course, Nicki Minaj too. Yeah, like
how weird that we just both.
Yeah, because I think it's because of the influence probably, but it's I've touched on that before. People shit on Nicki, and
I will say because Nicki, I feel like did a really good job in her career of for somebody who hadn't heard maybe like maybe even a mixtape version of Nicki, or like even like some of her like more hardcore hip hop album cuts. But if you just heard what was on the radio, really easy to cast her off. It's this pop.
Yeah, if you just
rapper.
know her pop records,
But if you go hop on an album or some of her older mixtape music, and you're like, this chick spits.
Her verse on Monster, the song with Jay-Z, Rick Ross, and Kanye West, she ripped that shit, bro. Left that mic smoking, bro. Like that is one of the dope verses, probably one of the dopest verses of last decade.
I'll loop back to the original best rap voices. I think she has a great rap voice.
Yeah, she can switch her flow up too, and
like the way she'll do, and even to the point where she'll do her little weird voices. She'll break off
her little characters.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yo, it works. It works. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. I think, like I said, Nicki Minaj is very much a legend.
Shout out, ladies.
Yeah. Oh, y'all. Freak all, y'all. I mean, I'm sorry. We're just trying to pay homage. I get all nasty. I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm sorry.
All right, bro. Well, we did it.
We had one more topic, I think.
We didn't. We did it. We hit all five.
All five. Great rap voices.
And we even segued without telling people.
Oh, we got it. No, we didn't. So are we sure we hit all five?
Yeah, bro, deadass. Let's run through it really quick.
I feel like we didn't hit one.
No. So we did unpopular food opinions.
Okay.
Red flags.
Okay.
Random fact.
Okay.
Best rap voices.
Okay.
Best female MCs.
Whoa!
Everybody's. Allison just hear fireworks and confetti.
And on this day, we learned to not mention our segue in a world where we mention segues.
We waited till well after the segue to mention it.
Bro, when we make a trailer for our podcast, I need to do that for in a world. Two friends come together. Nicholas Fletcher, Jaquan Davis, the Young Old Heads podcast.
That'd be funny. You know how in movies where like they'll say the character's name and like do a little clip of them?
Yeah.
Like, in a world,
And
Nicholas
like a
Fletcher and have me
heartbeat.
just and have me being like just saying like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And
and have me saying slut maker.
Jaquan Davis. I'm a slut maker.
The sluts. Slow motion. The sluts.
This summer
Coming this summer.
on a podcast near you.
All right. This has been another. Oh, no, I don't do this. You do this.
Come on, bro. You're
sorry.
gonna take it from me just because I suck at it? You're going to take
You
it from me?
shuck.
All right.
You absolutely shuck.
You have been tuned into another episode of the Young Old Heads podcast.
You ain't going to tell them our names? Who are we, man?
I didn't even. That
I'm sorry.
comes after.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Rewind. You have been tuned in to another episode of the Young Old Heads podcast. I am the spectacular, fantastic, and extremely good-looking Nicholas Fletcher.
And I'm this dude named Bo Peep. I am the salacious Jaquan Davis.
Salacious. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Sex symbol.
So this is a hip hop centric podcast where we talk a little bit about everything and a lot about nothing. I flip it
Don't
every
look
time.
at me
I
for
flip it
approval,
every
bro.
time.
Yeah, it's
I did it
fine.
on
Whatever.
purpose.
It'll just
a lot
be whatever.
About everything, a little bit of
Yeah, it'll
nothing.
be whatever comes out your mouth. Whatever. Who cares?
I feel like you're just sick of it at this point.
I'm
Then you do the outros.
I don't know.
All right, guys. Episode's over.
Peace.